Jarn backed away from the terminal as another echo shook the chamber. From the far end of the room, a second tank cracked. A thin line of red light leaked out, and then a slow, steady hiss followed. Another Revenant was waking up. He didn't wait to see it rise. He ran. Blaster fire and screams filled the tunnels behind him as the rest of the squad was torn apart. The sounds of metal footsteps, heavy and sharp, followed him through the winding halls. He found a maintenance shaft and crawled through it, his body scraping against the narrow walls. In the distance, he could still hear the mechanical roars of the creatures. These weren't just humans. They were something else. Humans built for extinction. For domination. For revenge. Jarn emerged into another control room where an old communication unit blinked softly. He hit the switch, his claws fumbling with panic. "This is Recon Unit Jarn of the Skarn Dominion," he gasped into the mic. "They're real. The human monsters. They're not stories. They're alive. They're hunting us." But no voice replied, only static. Then, behind him, the air changed. Cold, silent. He turned slowly. A third Revenant stood in the doorway, unmoving, watching him with glowing red eyes. Jarn didn't move. His breath stopped as the third Revenant stared at him, its head tilting slightly, almost like it was studying him. The creature didn't attack. Not yet. For a moment, there was only silence. Thick, heavy, terrifying. Jarn slowly raised his hands, unsure why. He knew running wouldn't help. Fighting wouldn't matter. But then the Revenant stepped aside, its massive armored hand pointing toward the exit behind it. It was letting him go. He didn't wait to question it. He ran. Through the broken tunnels, past the wreckage of his team, through the open hangar bay where the ship still waited. The planet rumbled beneath his feet. He looked back once and saw the three Revenants standing together at the edge of the shadows, watching him leave. When Jarn finally reached his ship and took off, the planet below looked the same, quiet, dead, forgotten. But he knew the truth now. The human monsters were real. They were powerful. And they were still here, waiting. Not mindless beasts, but intelligent, patient, and far more dangerous than the galaxy believed. When he returned to the Dominion, no one believed him, until they listened to his recording. And then the galaxy started to fear again, because only one alien lived to tell the truth. The dry wind moved across the dead surface of the planet as the Skarn Dominion's military team stepped out of their ship. The land was dark, cold, and silent, untouched for centuries. It was a planet that many feared to visit, one that carried stories of human monsters who once ruled its sky. The soldiers laughed as they walked, mocking the old tales. Humans that burned the sky, vanished without a trace. Just stories to scare children. One of them joked. They believed they were smarter, stronger, and above such legends. But deep inside the planet, hidden beneath rock and dust, they found something that made the laughter stop. It was an old human facility, still untouched, its metal doors sealed tight. The air was heavier there, as if the ground remembered something horrible. A warning written in ancient human language was scratched into the steel. "Do not enter. They're still here." The soldiers ignored it. One of them, a young alien named Jarn, touched the control panel with curiosity. A low hum filled the tunnel. The lights flickered. The walls shook gently. Something deep underground began to wake up. The silence of the planet was broken. The legends, it seemed, were not just stories. Something was still alive down there. The air inside the human facility grew colder as the lights slowly turned on, one by one, revealing long, empty corridors filled with dust and forgotten machines. Jarn stepped forward, heart beating fast, his hands gripping his plasma rifle tighter than before. Behind him, the other soldiers stayed close, their jokes now replaced with silence. Strange symbols covered the walls. Warnings, instructions, maybe prayers, but no one could understand them fully. The deeper they went, the more they felt like they were being watched. A soft sound echoed from far ahead. It didn't belong to their group. Then suddenly, a chamber door opened with a slow, heavy hiss. Inside, they found rows of tall glass tanks filled with strange liquid. Some were empty. Others weren't. In one of the tanks floated a massive armored figure, taller than any Skarn, its body built like a machine, its eyes closed but glowing faintly red. It was a human, but not like the ones from history books. This one looked like a living weapon. Grak, the team leader, laughed nervously and moved closer, tapping the glass. "See, it's dead." But before he could say another word, the eyes snapped open. The tank shattered. In a blink, the creature grabbed Grak by the throat and lifted him off the ground. The other soldiers screamed and fired, but the bullets did nothing. The monster had woken, and it remembered everything. Jarn froze as he watched Grak's body slam against the wall with a sickening sound. The armored human moved like a shadow, fast, precise, unstoppable. Its eyes glowed like red fire, scanning the room, locking onto the next target. The soldiers panicked, firing every weapon they had. Plasma bolts lit up the dark chamber, but nothing touched it. The monster walked through the blasts like they were nothing. One soldier tried to run, but the creature leaped across the room and crushed him before he could scream. Jarn ducked behind a control panel, heart pounding, hands shaking. He wasn't a coward, but this was something no training had prepared him for. The stories were real. The monsters were real. And they were far worse than anyone had imagined. He looked at the broken tank, then at the others still sealed and glowing. Were there more like it? Were they waking up too? He found a nearby terminal and began typing, hoping to find a way out. A map, anything. Instead, he found logs, old human files, test reports, mission details, war records. The creature wasn't a soldier. It was called a Revenant, a living weapon made for a war the galaxy had already forgotten. But now it was awake again. And it wasn't alone.